What if everything you thought was truth was a lie, and everything was not as it seems to be? What if everything you knew about the pyramids turns out to be a grain of sand in the vast deserts of knowledge? What if there was a unifying matrix to the universe where the keys unlock the code? Around 5000 BC, modern Homo sapiens evolved in the area where the river Euphrates meets the Persian Gulf. From ancient knowledge texts, we know this area had the highest concentration of a substance known as monatomic gold. In modern society, we know that the island of Hawaii holds the highest concentration, as this is also where the Ark of the Covenant is currently located. In this area, according to the Book of Enoch, a giant race called the Anunnaki were established. It is stated in ancient texts that they named this monatomic gold the flames of the gods. And it is written that this substance repaired all health defects and reversed the aging process. Monoatomic gold is what is called a superconductive substance. Thus, in the transportation of electricity through this substance, you will not lose any energy as a result of heat dissipation. So if you input 100% of the energy, you will receive 100% output of energy. The effect within the human mind, which is a highly evolved complex bioelectrical machine, helps your neuron pathways act like a supercharged quantum highway, and all your senses will be greatly enhanced. All other normal inactive parts of your brain will also be supercharged, thus greatly improving your memory, helping you to critically think, discern evil, and if truth or deception is spoken. There is also the possibility that telepathy may become a reality. It may even be possible to time travel and see the past and the future. The Anunnaki giants, whom it is written in many ancient texts, including the Dead Sea Scrolls, were visitors to the earth and contained many races such as the Saurians, the Reptoids, the Argarians or Nordics because of their human-like appearance, and the Greys from Zeta Reticula were here to find monatomic gold. This process involves the expenditure of huge amounts of energy in order to extract it from seawater. By processing the gold from its usual 8 pairs of atoms per molecule into its singular components. In this process, the monoatomic elements are separated into singular components in a similar way that uranium-235 is created. Firestones and flames of the gods of antiquity. Primary water indeed has amazing qualities and is affected by any substance placed into it, either positively or negatively. Simply by placing a clean gold object overnight in water and then drinking it can have amazing regenerative effects on the human body. Do you remember the old trick of rubbing a gold ring or using golden eye ointment onto a painful sty in your eye and curing it extremely quickly? There is great evidence, albeit from ancient texts and manuscripts, to suggest that if you ingest a tiny amount of firestone powder, as the ancient Sumerians named it, in purified primary water, then there is evidence that this may help your body and consciousness in many incredible ways. They apparently called this substance ormus, or monoatomic gold. white gold, gold of the gods, and firestone powder. Today they remove monoatomic gold and most of the helpful minerals from our reservoirs, with the use of cleansing plants and highly toxic chemical treatment plants before sending it to our homes. That is why they currently wish to pollute all primary water supplies. Water naturally contains silver, palladium, monoatomic gold, pure gold, copper, and millions of other trace elements that are essential to the longevity and health of the human body. Water, it seems, takes on the form of what is placed in it, and there is clear scientific evidence to suggest that DNA is also imprinted in water. Professor Luc Montagnier, the French virologist who won the Nobel Prize for the discovery of the AIDS virus, HIV, performed an experiment on DNA that was published in the Journal of Physics. The professor placed a sealed test tube A containing Mycoplasma pilum, which is a microorganism, DNA, into a mu metal cage. He then placed into test tube B distilled water. It should be noted that test tube B did not contain any basic raw materials that could be used to form DNA. He placed a copper solenoid around test tubes A and B with a low-intensity electric current oscillating at 7 Hz and left them at room temperature for 2 hours. At the end of this time, he did a test on the B sample, which now contained, to his surprise, DNA of Mycoplasma pilum. In our previous episode on teleportation, we discussed the spooky effect. Is this what happened here? And is there interconnection between teleportation and the movement of DNA through the air or by a cause of electrical current? Monoatomic gold, or firestone, is one of the biggest secrets held within the mystery schools and passed on into the top levels of the elite's modern secret society networks that we will mention in much more depth later on in the series. Monoatomic gold, it seems, has unbelievable healing qualities in that it aligns the cells to carry phenomenal amounts of light energies, thus dispersing the blockages and imbalances we call disease or illness, and the ancient and enlightened call the chakras or Merkaba. Monoatomic gold can be made from regular gold, and it can be processed from certain ores, many of which are found in places like Arizona in the United States. It is also prevalent in primary water supplies, as this is what is said to reflect the sun's rays like dancing flames of fire when it strikes the water. This, I suggest, is the true meaning of the references to gold and gold mining as depicted in the Sumerian tablets, and not literally. It also makes one wonder if there was perhaps an esoteric or deeper reason for the late 19th century and 20th century gold rushes. Apparently, when you consume this monatomic gold by mouth or by injection, it increases the current carrying capacity of the nervous system by 10,000 times. But in a much safer and less satanically extracted version of what we know today as adrenochrome, or in simple layman's terms, pink adrenochrome. The fire of the gods would theoretically allow humanity to process fantastic amounts of data, like a supercomputer or artificial intelligence, as depicted by the fictional character Data in the hit series of Star Trek: The Next Generation. There is evidence to suggest that when enough was absorbed, that it would allow them to consciously move through other dimensions, like a stargate or portal. And it is said that it gave power to shapeshift to a light being because suddenly the brain is activated to open those vast areas that we do not yet have the knowledge to use in today's world. It aligns the brain cells so that both sides of our brain become interposed with the other through the pineal gland, which links them, thus unlocking many and still to be discovered human or superhuman abilities. The ancients suggest that the monoatomic gold or firestone elixir gave the user extraordinary superhuman abilities to process information and to consciously shapeshift into creatures of their choosing because of the staggering amounts of extra energy that can be processed. Could this be also why the gods are depicted as different animals from all cultures in antiquity? From deeper research and understanding, it is my personal belief that the ancient Egyptians, Sumerians, Babylonians, and Phoenicians, and indeed all who knew this great secret, used this, or more accurately, those that named themselves gods. This gave them an intellectual potential that was denied to the general population, and as we know that knowledge begets power, they proclaimed themselves as gods over humanity. This is ancient and modern knowledge that is freely available to those that seek out the real truth and the real facts, and indeed there is no way to know if it is science fiction or science fact at this moment in time. But it does answer many deep riddles that as yet remain unanswered. The body requires fuel to repair the damage that it has accumulated throughout its life, and critically needs uninterrupted rest so that it can repair itself. In essence, the firestone elixir forces the body to do what it has to do to get itself fixed. You no longer have the mental choice to say, I'm going to stay awake for a week, because if you need to turn off, you will turn off. As with all things that you ingest, it is generally wise to stop taking it when you reach a plateau of effect. Words of warning are required here. Taking anything through the plateau can result in addiction and or other unforeseen consequences, and this possibly is where the saying, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you are not taking the substance to cure a specific disease, it is probably best to take it for no more than 2 weeks at a time, with a week of rest between the 2-week periods. This will ensure that the substance only delivers the positive effects and leaves you in control of its use. It is, fabled in many languages, that there is monoatomic gold in the legendary Atlantis. It was also called the metal of flames. It is a substance with a mysterious property of emitting unique energies. Could this be the fabled energy that powers the 0-point modules for unlimited energy use that was portrayed in the Stargate of Atlantis series? In the Dark Ages, which is a term that personally does not resonate on any level with myself, it was called orichalcum. It is also proclaimed in the ancient text that Nicholas Flamel, born in 1330, who was a famous alchemist, who made the Philosopher's Stone, or Stone of Sage, a reality. It is my humble opinion that you should consider the following statements very carefully. Today, gold is not so highly valued simply because it is a scarce substance, which it is not, or because it is beautiful to the human eye, which it is. There are other, deeper reasons why gold was so revered from all civilizations across all time and space, and why it was always taken as treasure after wars and adorned temples, houses, weapons, shields, crowns, jewelry, and was placed with those great entities that died with certain instructions buried with them. Why do you think they diluted pure gold into different carats? 9, 14, 18, 22 and 24 karat gold. It is my belief that the word carat was created to fool humanity and is the origin of the term fool's gold that we use today. Some early researchers claim that monoatomic gold, if taken alone, can lock people into their current physical and or mental condition at the time of ingestion. For example, if they are criminals, they may just become more effective and more successful criminals. This would explain the alleged but not proven use amongst the elitist secret protective agencies like the secret space programs. This theory is based on a very small sample over a very short time. The flames of the gods of antiquity has now been given a modern twist. However, in my humble opinion, there are critical, esoteric technology, spiritual-based knowledge that is still missing to recreate the fabled philosopher's stone or monoatomic elements in their purest form. It is stated clearly in ancient Sumerian texts that Nimrod, known as Gilgamesh, was buried in an everlasting tomb with clear instructions on how to make Ormus, or the flames of the gods, which was buried with him. The key to the flames of the gods is now being unlocked, and we will revisit this incredible subject in Series 2 for a more esoteric, religious, scientific, technology-based discussion. For now, I leave you with the evidence of an amazing discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb, found in 2003.
A small cuneiform clay tablet dating back to 3,500 years old has been put on display in Iraq for the first time in 3 decades. One of the world's oldest works of literature, the Gilgamesh tablet, was looted from Iraq during the Gulf War. We take a look.
This is the Gilgamesh Dream Tablet, a religious text as old as time, dating back almost 3,500 years. It bears a portion of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Distinctive for its wedge-like cuneiform impressions, the tablet contains sections of a Sumerian epic poem. In this, the hero Gilgamesh recounts his dreams to his mother. Some of the stories are mirrored by the Old Testament. It is one of the world's oldest works of literature.
You've been watching Unlocking the Code with host Neil Wilson. To connect to Neil or to check out our other shows, head to lifesource.global. And don't forget, hit the like, subscribe and share buttons. This show has been brought to you by Source Light Productions.